Hello guys, my name is Madison Nicole Thomas and I'm a targeted individual in Houston, Texas. I'm 21, about to be 22, late September, and it is currently September right now. And today I have a metaphor for my targeted individuals. I have a metaphor today that I want you guys to understand to maybe help your situation better. If you don't agree, then oh well. If you do, then that's great. It's just me trying to help as best as I can. I understand that there's nothing that we can really do to help each other out of our situation. But if this metaphor helps you, then I would like to be that help if I can. So, to start off, by the way, if you hear sounds in the background, it is my gangstalkers making noise. If leaves crumbling, sometimes they'll make it sound like people are walking around my camp, or sometimes they'll have people wrapping up stuff in the. If you hear noise, it's my gangstalkers. Okay. I'm trying to think, where do I want to start? I think you just heard one right now. Where do I want to start? Let's start off with the metaphor. Okay. Let's say when you were being gangstalked, you see how it started up like right when I started talking? There we go. They already started with me today. They use Mother Nature, by the way. They also use Mother Nature. They don't just use environments inside of buildings, and they don't just use vehicles. They also use Mother Nature as well. Remember, bugs also can grow with technology, and they'll basically, when the bug is a little bug, a little larva, they'll put the technology in it while it's a larva, and then the bug will grow with that technology in it, and then there's so many other ways, but we're not going to get into that. We're getting into the metaphor. Okay, so like I said, you might hear stuff in the background. That is my gangstalkers trying to be as loud as possible so that I don't articulate what I'm trying to say to you clearly. That's what that's for. It's because we're stimulated by the stimuli. We're sensitized by the stimuli, and it distracts our brain so we don't focus on what it is that we're doing. Remember, this whole scheme is to make you mentally unfit so that you can be falsely accused for something. That's the whole point of the scheme. Okay, now let's get to the metaphor. Okay, targeted individuals. Let's think about your situation like a movie set, okay? In a movie set, when you watch a movie, the movie feels real, feels like real life. When you leave a movie theater, you feel, oh my gosh, I just watched this new movie and it's so amazing, it's so fun. I feel like if you watch an action movie, you're gonna feel empowered. If you watch a love movie, you're gonna feel like flowy and whatnot. You're gonna feel all flowy, whatever. And so that the feeling you get from that movie is based off how the director made the movie, correct? Okay, so let's say you are a director. I'm not digging in my nose, I'm fixing my septum. I play with my septum all the time because anybody who has a septum, they know. But let's say, you're the director of a movie, right? You have a set, you have your characters, your cast, you have your music that you want to listen to. In the movie, you know how the character synchronizes with the scene, like everything's moving in sync with the character in the movie so that it looks smooth and effortless. You got the synchronization, you got the sound effects, certain sound effects to make certain scenes pop so they can really catch the audience's attention. You have the storyline, the plot line, everything. All of these things go into making a movie, right? And all of these things go into a movie to make it look real, to make it be perceived as true, to make it be perceived as this is something that is actually happening, that is being recorded, and I get to watch it on my TV. This is a perception of reality. That is what a movie is meant to make you watch something that looks as real and true as possible. Gangstalking is the same thing, metaphorically speaking. And what I mean by that is, let's say that you're the director. Oh, they're using bugs. So they're using bugs now. They don't want me to explain this to y'all. They really don't want me to. So they'll use Mother Nature to do their thing. I haven't had any bugs for the past 5 hours, and right when I started recording, all in front of my camera. Okay, so you're the director, but you're also the audience of your movie. Remember that. You're the only one who's going to see this movie. You're the director and the audience of this movie. So let's start off with director. What does the director do? The director has the camera, and the director is saying, I want this cast. I want these cast of people to be on my movie. I want this to be the noise that's in the movie. This is the music, and this is the noise I want in my movie. This is how I want the environment to look in the movie. I want it to look gloomy. I want it to look bright. I want it to look sad. I want it to look happy. I want it to look aggressive in action. I want it to look... The director is setting the tone for how he wants this version of reality to play out in his movie. Correct, right? Gang stalking is when a group of people, metaphorically speaking, when a gang, right before I start explaining noise in the background, my brain is sensitized to that noise, which means I'm stimulated to pay attention to that background noise and not what I'm explaining. Pay attention to that target individuals. Back to the story. Let's say, back to my metaphor, right? You're the director of this movie. You're the director of this scene. You're also the audience, but let's focus on director. Let's say if somebody got your camera, right? You're the director. You have your camera to record this movie. Let's say somebody got your camera and tied and taped you to it, right? They tied and taped you to this camera. But you're still forced to record this movie, the movie of your life. The movie of your life. And if you're tied and wrapped on this camera, recording these things, right? You're recording these things. That means, but somebody else is like, let me slow down. The gang stalkers have hijacked your set. They've hijacked your movie set. They've hijacked your everything. Somebody came in and hijacked your movie set. All right. Now I'm back to, it's my first time making a YouTube channel. Y'all go easy with me. But they wrap you. They hijack your movie set. They tie you to a camera. To your camera that you're using to record your set that you've made for your life, metaphorically speaking. And then instead of you making the movie that you were going to make for your life, they cast your cast. They cast your crew. They cast the characters. They cast the people in your movies. They come up with the sounds that you're going to constantly hear within your movie, aka your life. They come up with the jobs and the plot twist and the love interest and all of that inside of your life. They decide whether you're going to have a kid or you're not going to have a kid, or you're going to get help or you're not going to get. They are hijacking the movie of your life. Hijacking the movie of your life so that you can perceive. Remember, the camera is your perception. The camera is your perception. So they are hijacking the movie of your life. Let me explain in further detail so that you can undo it. So we're going to remember what I just said, and then I'm going to come back to that, and let me explain something else real quick. Okay. Perception is how your eyes and how your ears perceive what's going on around you. Okay? You also perceive smell. You perceive when something touches you, you perceive how it feels. Perception is just how your body takes in information about the environment around you. That's it. Your perception is what gang stalkers need to manipulate you. That is why they have to show the colors in front of you. That's why they have to do all of those things so that you can see them. That's why they have to make those loud noises so you can hear. Because they're trying to manipulate your perception. The camera, the director that's my confirmation. The director in the movie, right? The director in the movie has a camera. That camera is your perception. That's your perception, right? And usually through life, you can say who you don't want in your life. You don't want this in your life. I don't want to go to this place. But gang stalkers force you to go to these places. They force you to have to depend on certain people. So you have no choice but to perceive these things. Your perception is being forced. Okay, right? So if your eyes and your ears and the way you feel things, your body is taking in information to tell you how to understand the world around you. To understand how to, so if I see something that is dangerous, my eyes is going to perceive that and then take that information back to my brain and tell my brain we need to run. If somebody scratches me, right, my body feels that and she perceives that as a feeling and goes, well, I'm being scratched. I need to fix this issue. If I hear a loud noise go bang, right, my ear is going to perceive that information as that is too loud. I'm scared and I'm a little bit anxious. What's going on? Right? It's to mess with the perception. Your perception takes in information so that you internally can understand your reality. Your reality that you believe, whatever you believe the world is like, right? Whatever you believe the world is like. That's an airplane coming above me. Y'all should watch my videos about the airplanes constantly flying around me. This is just another example. They do it to distract you, and it's kind of working. But perception. Okay, so if you're perceiving something, right? Our reality and the way we look at life. The only way that we can understand the way we look at life is the way that we perceive things. So None of us know truly what life is 100% about. We don't know everything about life, right? We only know about what we can perceive. That's the only thing that we know about life, what we can perceive. The information our eyes, our mouths, our nose is able to take in. That's the only way that we understand life and reality is our perception. So if they manipulate what you constantly see and what you constantly hear, then they can also manipulate the way that you see the world, thus the way you actually see yourself, the way you see people around you. So it's coercively controlling the mindset of your brain, the way that you think, the way that you interpret thought, the way that you feel. When you perceive information about a guy or about a situation, you're perceiving that information through your eyes, your ears, your mouth, and other things. And that perception tells you how to feel about yourself, about the situation. When you go to your job, if the information that you are perceiving about your environment is bad, then that will affect your behavior at that job. Perception is how we take the next step. You know, you have to perceive and understand what's going on before you make a decision. So that is why they have to manipulate your environment so much around you. That's why they have to be around you 24/7. That's why they got to make sure you see those colors all the time. That's why they got to make those noises all the time. That's why they got to use the voice to skull technology. That's why they have to do these things. They have to mess with your perception. When you have a thought about something, that's your brain perceiving a truth about something. So if they do voice to skull, let's say you have a thought, right? You have a thought about something. If that voice to skull is decoding your thoughts as you speak, that voice to code, that voice to skull, if it's manipulating the way that you think, meaning, let's say if you have a regular thought about something, let's say I don't like my shoes, I don't like the way my shoes look. That's you perceiving information about a shoe through your eyes and through your thoughts. What they can do with their technology now is perceive that thought and then manipulate that thought to mean something way more negative than it actually has to be. Meaning, oh, you don't like your shoes because you can't afford another one. Oh, you don't like your shoes because you're ugly in them. Oh, you don't like your shoes because you don't have the latest shoes. You're not it. They do things like that. Something as simple as, oh, I don't like my shoes. I don't really like my shoes. I want some new shoes. You know, nobody's going to think negative about that. But what they do with targeted individuals is they take small little mishaps and turn them into big situations. So perception, I explained all of that to say, perception is how you understand your world. And I went into that detail so that you can understand the manipulation tactics that are being put into manipulating those perceptions. I'm going to learn to be more clear in my videos. I am, guys, but this is my first time. Okay, so we understand perception, right? Perception is the information that your external body takes to understand your internal. Okay? And everything that is going on outside of your body is external information. Your gang stalkers doing what they're doing, external information. Your mom, she's external information. This camp, my homeless camp that I'm in right now, this is my external. Everything outside of your body is external. So if a person manipulates your external world, or people in that external world, they can manipulate if you're not smart enough to catch it, which most of us aren't, because I'm not going to get into that, but most of us aren't. When it comes to our perception, right? If they can manipulate if they can manipulate what you see in your environment, remember, your environment is how you perceive reality. So if they can do things in your environment, constantly manipulating things in your environment, that means they can manipulate your perception of said environment, which means they can make you see the world how they want you to see it, which means they won't have to do the gang stalking too long, because then you're going to start doing to yourself what they do to you. It's all psychological games, guys. It's all psychological mind games. It's all psychological mind games. They can get you to do to yourself what they used to do. We sabotaged you to make you self-sabotage. We sabotaged you to make you blame yourself, and we didn't give you a solution on how to fix your problems. Now you're gonna blame yourself and then subconsciously repeat those bad habits in your life. It's perception. So back to the movie scene, right? We understand perception. Back to the movie scene. The camera is your perception. You're the director. You're the director. You're supposed to be the director of your life. You're supposed to be like, this is my life. These are the cast characters I want to have in my life. I want that person in my life, this person in my life. This is not the environment I want. So I'm going to make me a new environment because I'm the director of my life, and I want this to be the environment I want of my life. This is my sound. This is how I want my movie to sound. So these noises are allowed in my movie, and these songs and music are allowed in my music, not those sounds and not that music over there. This is what I want in my movie. What happens though is gangstalkers take over you. They take over you in a way without physically touching you. They take over your perception. Thus, and they let you continue being the director of your life because you're the only one who can truly direct your life, and there's no way to really take you out of that for real, 100%. But you're the director of your life. Your camera is your perception. They tie you and tape you to your camera while your set that you're recording, because remember, the set is aka your environment, your life, your world, the world that you walk and breathe in every single day. That's what the set is, metaphorically speaking. The camera, metaphorically speaking, is your eyes, your ears, and how your body is taking in the information that it is listening to and watching around it. You are your brain. Your brain is telling you what it wants to do, what it's comfortable with, what it doesn't want to do. You're the director. So you're connected to your camera and you're recording, you're taped to it, because your gangstalkers are taping you to this. They're forcing you to perceive a false reality that you did not direct. And they're taping you to your camera. And now this is supposed to be your movie set. This is supposed to be the movie of your life. And what they do is they make up their own movie set in front of you. They take your characters out and put their own characters. They take the noises and the music you have for your movie out, and they put their own music with their own meanings and their own perceptions. They take the environment that you had, that you wanted for the movie of your life, metaphorically speaking, on all of this. They take the environment you had of your life, and then they put the environment they want to put you in to affect the way that you look at life. They're basically changing the set of your life, the movie of your life, that direction of your life. They are forcing you to be the director and the cameraman while they control the set and the movie of your life. And it is your job and your opportunity to not let that happen. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. They're taking over your set, taking over your movie set, forcing you to perceive things. You have to learn to be a better person. I know it's not fair because, you're going through a lot of abuse. And so you're like, I shouldn't have to sacrifice anything else. I shouldn't have to put in any more work. I shouldn't have to do anything. My life is unfair and they're doing this to me. And that is true. That is true. But although it is not your fault that it's happening, you are your responsibility, and you have to learn to love yourself and take accountability for the responsibilities that people unfortunately put on your back. I'm trying to see if I'm saying that right. Don't take a responsibility for other people's actions, but take accountability for the actions that you could take to help you not fall in a negative aspect of those things, if that makes sense. So I don't want you to take it, don't take it as I have to sit here and do yet again more work for myself when I shouldn't even have to do any of this at all. I know it's not fair. It's really not. And life is not fair. I promise you, life is not fair. And it's getting more and more unfair the more evil and greedy and power driven we become as a human race. But this is just life. And you have to, it's life. So you have to fight for yourself. You have freedom that you have to fight for. You have a mindset, a body